Okay, so we're streaming, but if we get really bad, then I'm going to delete it right afterwards off the stream. Because, okay, I got 1 minute to talk amongst yourselves. I'm letting her get. You get your sign filled out, sweetheart?
Oh,
We
I
did it
did
for
it.
her already.
Oh, you're so
Thank
sweet.
you. Just in case.
Women taking care of women.
Yes.
Is everybody's pronoun she?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Just like to check because it helps if I bring up panel notes.
Wait, you take those?
I have an entire Google Doc for this.
You know, I've just been winging it all weekend, right?
Girlfriend, I have an entire Google
My
Doc.
life's been complicated recently.
Well, that's
The
true.
fact that I'm here.
And we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, please.
No, seriously.
I didn't want a backup plan.
Been a lot.
Okay.
My therapist is earning his money right now. Oh God.
Okay.
But with
We're at 10. I lost Michelle. Michelle's my anchor. Okay. Hi, everybody out there in Twitch land. We're all kinds of crazy. It's Sunday night at Dragon Con, so we've lost all of our brains. My name is Tara Burton, and as my sign says that you can't see, not a cosplayer. Okay, not a cosplayer. Just a woman who thought, wouldn't it be cool if cosplayers could talk about how they grew their communities, and I could come as Tyra, and they could come as other things. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and say a little bit about the costume that they have on right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Danique Cosplay. I was going to come as something else, but it was a little muggy, so I went a little lighter for this Sunday night. So I decided to do a nice little cat from Hawaii wearing a little Lilo and Stitch. But I've been a cosplayer since 2019. So thank you for coming to today's panel.
Hello, I am Phaedra Black. I am dressed as one of the versions of Luna from Hell of a Boss. I have been Luna all weekend in some capacity as Bunny Luna. I was regular Luna. I was Sith Luna yesterday. And then I am the red dress, which is just in my closet. So, kind of a goth chick. So, it works. How long have I been cosplaying? Before it was cool. So, like high school, I was a weird chick. So, but now it's doing good for me. So here we are.
I'm the Nerdy Body Cosplay, or just Nerdy Body. I am a baby cosplayer. I've only been cosplaying since 2021. And I am currently my original character, Sith Lord Darth Valera.
Nice.
Hi, I'm the Opie Princess, as you can see, and I am cosplaying as a very casual shy guy because, again, it's hot out, but this is a great mask. It's an amazing mask. I've been cosplaying since, I want to say, 2017, and it all started with one tiny pinup Minnie Mouse A-line dress that I wore to my first con, which was Dragon Con. I went by myself, and that's when I met Danique. But yeah, after that, it just kind of snowballed into doing more. Yeah.
Everybody's saying dates, and I just said high school. I guess I should give a date, right?
Well, unless you tell
wanna
one
date-
again.
Yeah.
Unless you want to date yourself.
1998.
Ooh.
I'm 42, so.
I'm the old woman on the You look awesome.
Mhm.
You too. So it's
Moisturize and hydrate.
There you
yeah.
go. Exactly.
Moisturize your hands. That's my top tip for, because they show your age. Anyway, besides that, all of you decided to go kind of public with your cosplay. And in some ways, it may be used to help you in your income or just because you want to build a following. So give us an idea of how you started going public with your cosplay.
I started going public with my cosplay because, like I said, I started in 2019. I was very hesitant in going to cosplay because I was just like, all the cosplayers I typically see pictures of is in their 20s and stuff, and I am way past that. So it was one of those that I was just like, I'm not sure about this. And Bar Fox and Dean's List with Cosplay Your Way was just like, you're going to do this. You're going to do this. And they gave me that 300 kick into the pit of cosplay. And I decided to cosplay as Captain Yodoichi from Bleach as my very first cosplay. And I had to get the help of all of my friends to learn how to put contact lenses in, put the wig on, and everything. And I've always had respect for cosplayers as a photographer, but trying to do it as a first time cosplayer was just, it was an experience. But I wanted to go public because I wanted other cosplayers that are over the age of 30, over the age of 40 to say, I want to do it. And I actually had a friend of mine who is over the age of 40 cosplay for the first time here at Dragon Con.
Oh, yay!
So me and Opie was encouraging her. We encouraged another friend that's over the age of 42 about cosplaying. And yeah, they had a great time cosplaying today. They were at the Deadpool photo shoot and everything. So we were, both of us were proud, sitting there all proud, like, that's my baby. Even though they're older than me, but I'm like, that's my baby.
I'm staring at you because you're next.
I was going to be finished. She was
Oh, I
talking.
finished.
I didn't want to interrupt. So I started going public with cosplay when I was still married. We used to do really big group cosplays because we would have like 8 of us that would come here. And we would do really fun stuff. We did one weekend, we did Hogwarts students go to Dragon Con. And so every one of us would do a different type of cosplay based on our Hogwarts house. So one day we did My Little Pony. So I was Slytherin Pony. We did the bunnies. We did Marvel characters. We did DC characters. We did all kinds of different stuff. Like I did a Slytherin Harley Quinn. I can't even remember all the different things we did. We did so many different things. One year we did the Frozen characters as belly dancers. We would take like our own little take on different things. And of course, if you're working this hard on these things, you want to show people. You want to take pictures. You want to be like, look what we did, you know? I've done Oogie Boogie as a Sith. We used to do Disney characters as Star Wars characters and really do a lot of mashup type stuff because I don't really like being screen accurate because people get really, really judgy. So I wanted to create my own things and make my own stuff. And so, of course, you want to share that when you're doing that.
My sister was like, I'm going to Toronto Comic-Con. You're coming with me. And I said, that sounds like a great plan. Let's do that. And then she said, you're also going to cosplay. And I said, it's like in a week, I have nothing. What? And so I was like, okay, I'll cosplay Sydney Bristow from Alias. And I have, a black turtleneck and black leggings. We'll do it. Do you have a red wig? And she did an Ariel wig, which is not the same. So we called her Discount. It's not the same. So we called her Discount Black Widow. And that is how it started. And then I was like, I still got a good reception from people. They're like, are you Kim Possible? Are you this? Are you that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. 100%.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, I was like, that is what I am, yes. And I really enjoyed it. So from that point on, I was like, okay, well, what would I want to cosplay? And I am very proud of my body. So I was like, we'll call it the Nerdy Body. And I'm going to lean into that. And so that's how Nerdy Body started.
Wow. I think that I had gone public with my cosplays because rent was due. I used to work at Google before I got fired. And then I'm like, okay, well, guess I'm a content creator now. Here we go. But before that, yeah, like even the first one that I did, when I made that group of friends doing the Minnie Mouse one, they were all seasoned cosplayers, photographers who were actually also working Dragon Con. And they were like, oh, okay, well, let's just take pictures. And I don't know how to pose. I don't know how to do anything like that. So they were just very nurturing and kind of led me in a direction. And then I think after that, the one that I did that popped off was my OC, my Milkmaid cosplay, where, because cowgirls are a thing. And I had made the bra for that one. I made the apron for it too. And then I got merch and then that became a thing. And yeah, so it kind of just turned into one of those, oh, well, why am I doing it for free? I don't know. But no, you should just have a hobby to have a hobby. I'm also a millennial, so everything was public no matter what.
Yeah.
I love that. So obviously as cosplayers, you're also content creators. And Princess, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
What kind of platforms are you on? And what have you found to be the best things that help you make that content?
I'm on all of the platforms, all of them. But the things that kind of helped me make the content, right?
Yeah.
Like the driving thing. I had a scrolling addiction, honestly. Like you're on TikTok. TikTok was popping off like in the early start of the pandemic, and I did not want a TikTok ever. But I ended up getting one, and it went from 1 video a day to 3 videos a day because I was like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, that'd be a good idea. And I just kind of made my own little persona online. And then from there, it was just wanting to be involved, peer pressure, but not the bad kind, the kind that's like, yeah, I want to have fun with everyone else, and just be creative because I also, like taking photos, and pushing my cosplays. I was a Twitch streamer first before I was a cosplayer. For those that don't know, not on, and then I moved over to like YouTube. But the fact is, I had made goals on my Twitch because when people found out that I did cosplay, they're like, okay, well, what do we need to do? I'm like, okay, reach this goal. I will stream in this cosplay. And that is, the community reward. And you can pick the next cosplay and, just giving some types of incentive, and that kind of, motivated everyone in my community. I think I answered it.
You did great.
Thank you.
So Nerdy, what platforms are you on and how are you creating content?
I typically only use Instagram right now, and it's because I'm still building my cosplay following. So I'm kind of getting my footing with, being better about posting more frequently to my stories and making posts. And I have the TikTok so that I can like secure the Nerdy Body name. I have the Twitter X, formerly known as. I have the Tumblr because I write fan fiction. It's fine. But like it's all Nerdy Body. And so like Instagram is my base right now, but like I'm hoping to start doing more TikToks and more things like that and branching out to build it more.
I'm on all the platforms as well, including all the platforms.
Wait. How do you refer to that?
I just call them the adult sites or the spicy sites.
Spicy is good.
Yeah.
Spicy.
So yeah, this is spicy sites, and I really started using those to monetize the cosplay content because I got divorced and I was broke. And it was really like it was a great way to be flexible with income and take care of your child and be there when you need to instead of, oh, sorry, kiddo, I got to go to work. So you can do stuff while they're at school, and then you can monetize the cosplays and work on that stuff as well. And it definitely made life flexible. So.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
For myself, I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, now X, but most of my followers are on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.
What is Philip doing over there?
He must be a follower.
That's Shakespeare. People, they're sketching Shakespeare over there. So can I get a big rawr? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Rawr!
Take that, Shakespeare. Sorry, maybe I should cosplay.
A shouting match.
Yeah, pretty much chaos.
Do the roar, right? Do the roar.
When panel rooms fight, use a 10. So
That's an idea for next year. We could do some sort of like feud thing.
Oh, that could be fun. You write that down.
Right, you
Well,
have
I have to write down notes for this. So, y'all are so cute. So one of the reasons that holds me back from cosplaying a lot is the judgment that happens. So I would just like you to speak on how do you handle that? How do you handle trolls and people being judgy when they should just go away?
Oh, the block button is your best friend. The block button. And like for the most part, in my experience, but I'm very new, the reception is always good. People are always excited to see your cosplay, no matter what it is. And if you're excited about your cosplay, other people are excited about your cosplay.
I'm going to give the same answer I gave in a panel earlier when someone was asking how you handle the negativity and trolls and streaming. And my response then is when people are nasty to you, it is a reflection of themselves and not you. They are judging you with perception of how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
And they want a
and
reaction.
they want attention. They're craving that validation, that attention that they're not getting from elsewhere. And they have learned, unfortunately, that the only way to get that sort of attention or any attention is to be a troll.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of have to let it roll off your back, because it is not about you. It is their reflection of themselves.
Yes. My favorite thing to do, on top of what they just said, is especially when they want to get into nitpicking your cosplay, I'm very quickly to let them know. It's like, well, my Cash App and my Venmo is the following. So if you would like to go ahead and contribute for me to get that cosplay accuracy that you want, go ahead and send that on over. And then once you send it, I will credit you for purchasing that cosplay.
Can you tell she's a voice actress?
Yeah.
I'm Missy down at the end of the table. How do you deal with it?
Oh God. If I have time, we'll do a public dragging. I don't mind it. If I have time. I know. I'll just make content out of it. But seriously though, if I feel like there's even an inkling, and this is kind of preemptive with Instagram in particular, you know, you can restrict accounts.
Yes.
So anytime I even see something like you got a weird ass, sorry.
It's okay. It's after 10. We can say all the words.
Okay. You got a weird ass name, and I'm just like, okay, I don't want you here. I'm just gonna go ahead and just restrict and just see how you interact with the community, because at least you'll feel like you're involved, but you're not really, and I still get counted for engagement. So it helps me.
Mhm.
I make content out of it. I block. Again, also same Cash App, Venmo, everything, because most of the time, if I'm cosplaying nowadays, somebody's getting it for me. So that's, if you want it that accurate, you're the one that's gonna pay for it.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay, so that's some great things, and I believe strongly in the block button. So that's a great thing that you just brought up. Was how do you get ideas or inspiration for the cosplays that you want to put together?
Doom scrolling TikTok.
Doom scrolling. Okay, I'm writing that.
Yeah. A lot of my followers would suggest cosplay. I even had a thing that for my show, part of our Kickstarter, if we reached a certain goal, they got to pick my next cosplay. And they did it within 48 hours. And they picked out that they wanted me to be Captain Hibana from Fire Force. So that's what I did.
Very cool. Nerdy.
Things that will look good on my body is how I pick it. Like I lean into what I know people like to look at, which is why my Sith looks like this. I wanted to cosplay Beetlejuice, but I didn't want to do Beetlejuice, so I did 50s housewife Beetlejuice because I know a 50s silhouette looks good on me. I wanted to do Jack Skellington, but I didn't want to do, I'm not a beanpole, so we made her curvy. We gave her long blonde hair. We gave her a bit of a facelift. So that's how I pick. If I think it'll look good on me, I'll try it out.
Same, literally same. I mean, it's in my name. You see it, it's right there. That's actually how I pick my cosplays. There are some times I've noticed, like being a plus size cosplayer, where there's the stigma of if you naturally have curves, you are being sexualized for everything that you create.
Yeah.
And that like has stopped me honestly from doing, like, I don't know if anybody knows the game Little Nightmares 6. I have the raincoat, I have the lantern, still haven't taken any photos in it just because it's like, well, this one might get me canceled. I don't know. But I just look like this and I can't help that.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like one day I'll just put something on and I'll just be very mindful of what other people are saying in my community and getting rid of them. So block, because not everything is a look at me type of thing, you know? Like sometimes I'm wearing the cosplay because I like this character regardless of how I'm built, which is very different. So
Yeah.
It's like that one TikTok sound, you know. Am I showing off my boobs, or do I just have boobs and exist?
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a fine line.
Yeah.
You know, just saying. So we're going to start taking questions soon. I'm going to give them one to kind of prepare you guys to walk up to our lovely microphone and ask us something. But I'd love to know what's your best experience when you were cosplaying, either with a fan or just what you were able to accomplish.
My best experience, it actually was after with my very first cosplay, even though I was hot, even though I was just like, I'm probably gonna wear this for less than an hour, and I'm gonna come back up here and change out of this. I don't know if I could do it. And I came down the elevator, and there was this family, and this little girl. She was so excited, and I happened to look to my right, and I was like, "Oh, it's Storm." No wonder they're excited. And then the mom comes up and she's like, "Hi, Kim. She get a picture with you?" And I was like, "Oh, go ahead." She's like, "No, no, you." And I was like, "Me?" And um, my friends there, I, I was so happy they did it. They captured the pictures, and then I was telling her, I was like, "Do you want me to hold you?" She squats down on the ground and does a big old jump. Yes. And as I'm holding her, before we take pictures, I'm like explaining about my katana and everything. And she was talking about my hair. And then we took our pictures, and she's just smiling ear to ear. And then she was like, she got down and she kept on talking. And then her mom was like, "Thank you so much. You made her day." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do this now."
So the heat all of a sudden was okay.
Yeah. It was still hot, but I was like, I can do this. It's for the kids.
It really is like because some of the most fun that I've had cosplaying has been with my daughter. Like
Oh,
last
that's
year,
right.
like we created Owl House costumes, and she was super excited about that. Like she decided, I don't watch Owl House, I cannot tell you anything about it, but she's like, "Mommy, you're gonna be the owl lady, and you're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this," and I'm just like, okay. And we did that, and we wore it here. And then Halloween, she picks our costumes for that. Like she tries to do everything for like 1 year for Halloween. Last year, we were Hades and Persephone. She was like a, accurate Persephone for mythology, but she made me be Hades from like Disney because she's like, no one's gonna know what I am, so maybe you being the recognizable one will make it easier. But she ended up winning a cosplay contest. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And to me that's really fun because that's something that one not a lot of kids are into, and she is like really into it. And like she's been the chick from Big Scythe, the little chick in the schoolgirl, that one. I'm like, see, I don't even know what she is. She knows all these things, and the Scythe is bigger than her, trying to teach her to walk through the crowd and not stab people's eyes out. It's been really fun. But yeah, it's been fun. I like that part.
No stabby.
No,
Yeah.
no stabby.
No real stabby.
Think about the stabby.
Right.
Mine is kids as well. My sister and I did Wednesday and Enid from Wednesday last year, and we were just like sitting on the floor, like hanging out because we were in between things. And kids were walking by because we were closer to the family zone, and like little girls were walking by going, "Oh, Enid and Wednesday," and like they were just like so excited to see the characters that they love. And like when you see them dressed as characters being like, "I love your princess," or I love your little Ray, like they love that interaction, and we love it too. So like giving it back to them is so like rewarding, and it just like makes my heart warm and fuzzy.
I feel like a Grinch because I don't really like
It's
kids
okay.
like that.
Don't feel like a Grinch. I only like my kid.
Okay.
I don't like children. I like my kid, and that's it.
Different.
She didn't talk about other children.
Yeah.
I talk about mine.
I think my most favorite moments, experiences would have to be getting stopped in public and being recognized and being told like you inspire me. Like even at this con the other day, someone's like, "I wanted to come up and meet you," and and God bless this person. Just like they did a great job to just get out there because again, like our friend who, they're older and they haven't really cosplayed and this is their first time doing it. Even the littlest details of a casual cosplay can transform how you feel and how others are going to like view the effort and what you did to create that character. So to hear that I was able to inspire someone to put on a wig and a beret means the world.
Yes.
It's very simple, but it was just really nice to hear that. So yeah.
Adults still need inspiration too.
Yeah, it's hard being an adult, man.
Yes.
It's rough out
Adulting
here.
sucks.
Yes,
We all-
yes.
Okay, there's nobody at
want a
that
refund.
microphone. Y'all are letting me down. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but I love you.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the right
I
moment.
do have one more question, but no, go. It's
Go.
my
Oh,
backup.
Yes.
So I want to start my like cosplay social media, and I have like the accounts and everything, but I haven't posted anything because I'm not sure how to approach making like the first video or anything. Because
Just do it, Dante. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
please.
do it.
Your first video is not going to
okay.
be like this cinematic thing.
No.
You're going to have to
No.
make
Yeah.
at least 50 videos or something to figure out
Yeah.
your style of how you create
Mhm.
your content. And that can be said with any platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go back and
Remember
look
that.
at my old stuff and go, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
so
And you'll be
cringe.
so overcritical of yourself too
Yeah.
at the same time. And a lot of times you need your friends or fellow cosplayers you befriended to say no, like we had to do with our friend this weekend. They were being so overcritical of themselves. We're like, no, you look amazing. You look amazing. And then they get out there and then they have people stopping and want to take pictures and all this other stuff. And then they're like, I looked at the pictures you took of me, Danique, and I look good. I was like, that's what we were telling you. So just do it. That's the best way I can say it. Just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to improve as you continue to post and do more.
And then if you feel you improve to the point that you're like, oh my god, those are awful, you can always delete them later.
Exactly.
Well, that's true.
You just need to try.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
try.
still figuring it out.
Mhm.
So like,
Yeah.
just do it, and you'll get there.
Yes.
Hopefully, I will hopefully get there.
And I'm going to give you my piece of advice as a content creator. Good enough is good enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be perfect.
Perfect.
I'm a perfectionist, so I have to let go of that. So like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Hi, welcome to The Price is Right.
Come on down.
down.
Or The Cosplay is Right. I should get my title. Okay.
Hello. So I'm not a cosplayer, but I am a photographer and
Yes.
a beginner photographer at that. So I just kind of want to ask, like, what your thoughts are, like, what. So what I really want to do is to kind of, it's still a hobby because I have a day job, so I'm not, I can still pay rent, thankfully. Like, what should my first step be to like kind of set up a photo shoot and just kind of step into that realm of like helping. Like I just want to have more people notice my work, not to like grow it hugely, but I kind of just want to keep it as a hobby. But I guess my question is like, what should my first step be?
Join a local community wherever you live. Like join a local content creator community. Like here we have Atlanta Twitch, like Stream Atlanta. Join a local community so you can meet the cosplayers, the content creators, so you don't come off as that random creepy dude that wants to take pictures of girls.
Right.
That way they
Also-
know who you are as a person. They get
Yes.
to know you, and then they will feel comfortable having you be their photographer.
Mhm.
That way you build those connections, because unfortunately cosplayers and men and women, it's really hard for them to be comfortable with new photographers that they
Mhm.
don't know. So getting into those communities and meeting people on a personal basis will really help you be able to build that portfolio and be seen as a photographer.
Also
And-
practice with your friends and practice with
Yes.
yourself too.
Mhm.
Self-portraits too. Like even for us making on our sites and everything, we've had to figure out angles
Mhm.
and different poses. It's like, okay, how's it going to look on a body shape like this? And then, bring your
Mhm.
friends in too.
And as a fellow photographer,
Say, this is her alley.
yes, because I do a lot of cosplay photography myself. This is your best place right here. You have so many cosplayers walking around. And I tell any photographer that is trying to approach any any cosplayers, introduce yourself. Say, hi, my name is Diddy Cosplay. I'm a photographer. Can I take a picture of you? I love your cosplay. And then if you don't know what their character is, I always ask them, I'm like, can you tell me about your character? And the way you can see someone light up because someone wants to recognize their character. Don't go after like the popular cosplayers. A lot of times you can get some really good shots out of someone that just is doing this out of the passion. And then you could build a rapport. There's with the group cosplays photo shoots that happen here. Go online, find out what times those are. Go there. All photographers are welcome to shoot those. And then you can start building that rapport with those cosplayers there. And then especially when they like your work, they'll follow you and they'll be like, hey, let me know if you're going to be going to this con, and they want you to shoot with them more. And that's how you can also build your rapport with a lot of the cosplayers, especially if you want to focus into that genre.
And have a card with you
Yes.
that tells them where they can go find
Find
their
you.
That makes you
photo.
look a lot
Mhm.
more
Because
professional.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it makes you look professional, and that's what they want. If you take a brilliant picture of them, they're gonna love you, and then when you're looking to do your own shoot, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he took that great picture of me."
Yes. I
So
would
give
love
them
to
a
do
place
it.
to go.
Exactly.
Also acknowledge their handlers. Like if they're with a handler, my husband is normally my handler, and like I look like I do, and he appreciates when a photographer, after we've shot, that the photographer will like acknowledge him and like thank him for like waiting for however long it takes, and then I feel more comfortable going to shoot with them later
Yes.
because that respect was there on both sides.
Exactly.
I appreciate that a lot.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Bubbles.
So I've always been like shy and awkward like growing up. So do you guys have any advice on how to like make cosplay friends?
Oh, so she's asking, how do we make cosplay friends?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, I got kidnapped.
Oh.
You're welcome.
I have Stockholm. We're still together. So I actually, for this con, I had joined a group called Dragon Con Bunny Hutch. And I was just posting like, hey, this will be my first Dragon Con, and I want to go to this thing in particular. What should I do? What do I wear? How long is the wait? Blah, blah, blah. And there are a lot of friendly people that will answer those questions. And if you tell them you're new, most of the time they're like, oh, well, look for us. We'll be there. And then just look for them. And even if you don't, have anybody that's there that commented, you can be like, oh, I remember your post, because people will post progress pictures of their cosplays too. And you can just be like, hey, I like your cosplay, photo, selfie, and then just chat with them about it. And then usually, they'll want to hang out. Yeah.
Or even at like the con, if you see cosplays that you like or something like that, go talk to people. Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't know. It's a couple years ago. My brain.
Dragon Con's kind of
right?
blur.
Yes.
I was here by myself. Recently divorced, all that fun stuff, so like I don't have the core group that I used to have. And I was walking by this group of cosplayers that was in the Marriott, and I stopped to, I don't know, check my phone or something. And we struck up conversation and we talked about our cosplays, and I talked to them a couple other times over the weekend. Years later, they're still my friends. We talk throughout the year. I hang out with them like at the con. Like, it's just like they may be friends you only see at cons, but they're also like, come up here and come to C2E2, come to this. I'm like, I don't have that kind of money, but I want to. but you make friends based on like the cosplays you're doing, shared interests, just like in, I guess, normal adult life. Just different interests.
Yes.
Shared interests is what I was going to say. If you're
Yes.
part of a fandom online and you have an online community that you gravitate towards, mention that you like cosplay, because I guarantee you there's other people in that group that do as well. I have them right there. They're all from my Discord server. We're from different parts of the country. I'm from a different country entirely. And
She's Canadian.
I'm Canadian.
We were closer to that airport that's by
Pearson?
Vancouver. Yes.
Oh, no, Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're in Vancouver. It's so pretty up there. I know. It's so nice.
And the air's clean.
Yes.
Or at least more clean here.
Beautiful. It can get
Squirrels.
foggy in the city.
Squirrels.
Sorry, we're distracted.
Connect later.
Yeah.
That's what I do with my kid when she gets distracted. I go, squirrel.
Yeah.
I would also say there's like what Opie was saying, along with the Bunny Hutch group, there's other groups for Dragon Con and other conventions. A lot of conventions will have a public group that people post various things about getting ready for the convention. And you may see someone post something that you connect with, or someone saying, it's my first con, I'm shy. Okay, I'm shy too. Would you like to like meet and have a bite to eat or have some breakfast, and then you can meet, talk with them, and just build a rapport. And then there's a lot of people that I met at my very first con, and I did my first con in 2015, and I call them my con family, because they went beyond friends. they're like my family, that I know that they look out for me. I look out for them and such. And these people I just met at the con. So just use those avenues. There's so many opportunities that you can use, and even in this room right now, you can probably make connections.
I can definitely acknowledge.
I'll kidnap you too.
So my advice is to marry one.
Yeah.
That's what I did, and go to costuming panels.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a whole costuming track at Dragon Con. So if you're at a smaller convention, there's usually a panel about cosplay or costuming. Go to them because they're already interested in making these crazy things.
Mhm.
Thank you. And you came forward.
Yes, you did.
I love your cosplay.
The
as a
three of you.
congo.
I know.
I know, and there's more of them, by the way.
So if y'all are going to start a community from zero, like if you were going to start today, would you just like want to to grow a community? Would you want to just throw as much content out as possible, or do you like try to like game the system and like, oh, I'm going to optimize what I'm posting to Instagram or Twitter or Reddit or whatever? Like, what would be your way to grow that community like in the beginning if you were to start today?
Okay. So
We all looked-
first, why is there really a me?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
That instinct we had.
So
I know. We were all like, let's pass that potato.
Oh gosh. Okay. So there's a couple things. You don't need to do everything at once. Just don't throw shit at a wall and hope it sticks. I think like conserve your energy, because one,
Yes.
I would like for you to not start this with the guys or under the idea of like, oh, well, I'm instantly going to get monetized. I'm instantly going to get all this stuff. It's more so finding your niche, finding how you create and your, pacing.
that's a good-
Because if you don't, you're going to get burnt out really
Yes.
quickly and you're not going to enjoy it. The whole point of making content is to enjoy it because it's entertainment. It should be entertaining to you just to create.
And fun.
Usually like what I ended up doing at one point, because I started with Twitch, is I started to look at my analytics of when my audience was available. Recently, over this past year, because I moved from like Twitch to YouTube, what I ended up doing was I went from posting old VODs from my Twitch streams to my YouTube channel. And I started to see where my audience was engaging, that joining Facebook groups that are also supporting other creators like yourself too is helpful, so you can curate that community. But what you're going to want to do is look at those analytics, pick those times, and just give yourself a deadline. So for me, I went from doing one video a month to now I put out a video a week on YouTube. So the goal at some point is going to be 2 videos a week minimum. But it's just that you want to give yourself enough of a wiggle room to start, and then just build off of that. Most of the time when you're posting from a video long format like YouTube to say Facebook, they don't like that because Facebook is trying to become TikTok. And then same with them trying to Instagram trying to become TikTok too. So you have to use your content sparingly. So whatever you create, repurpose it, spread it across. Don't do it all in one sitting in one day to post in one place. But if you're trying to build all these platforms at once, this is a lot of information. I'm so sorry. Spread it throughout the week to give yourself time, to give yourself planning. Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
Good. Was that it? Really?
No, anybody?
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Did not need any elaboration.
So marketing professor is going to add that, and she said it, know your target audience and
Yes.
know where they are and start there. Because she's right. If you spread yourself too thin, it's hard to keep up with all those things at the same time. But if you add them on as you go, it's easier. So know who your audience is and where they are. So yeah, you did great. See, we all looked at you for the right reason.
Try.
I love that coat.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
David
awesome.
from Cyberpunk.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
That's all fair.
So my question is like a little bit like I feel like deeper than just cosplay. Like I feel like this is any kind of art or content creation, but I think with social media, like you can see all the analytics on your side, and like I think there's like a big motivation to sort of like compare yourself and like have all these expectations of like numbers. So I wanted to ask you kind of like, how do you guys feel about quote unquote making it? Like, I want to make it in cosplaying, or I want to make it in streaming or whatever. Like, what do you think about that mentality? And then also, like, I just wanted to ask, like, do you personally have like a story of like something happening, or like, was there ever a moment where you felt like this is it? Like, I feel like I'm finally doing the thing, or like, does that kind of never happen? Like, that's kind of my suspicion, is that you never really feel that way, no matter how big you get. But I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that.
You have to figure out what is your definition of making it. What does that mean to you? Does that mean you go to a convention and people recognize you constantly? Does that mean you're making enough money to only do content? What is making it to you? And once you figure that out, then you can kind of go on that path. But honestly, just being out and having people recognize you for doing stuff is so cool. Like I've been out, like I was at a tattoo convention and someone recognized me, and I was with my kid and they recognized me, and my kid goes, "Mommy, they recognized you. That is so cool."
Oh, you got cool mom points.
Right. So to me, in a way, I'm cool with my kid. So I've made it. I'm good. And it pays some bills.
That's the point. I mean, that shouldn't be the end all be all, but okay, like Phaedra said, what your idea of making it is actually very important. For me personally, I mean, this was never the end goal. It just sort of happened because I was just some lonely person that moved to a new state and had no friends. And then from there, it just turned into something else. But it's, for me, making it changes every few months, every year, because my goals move. I'm not the same person I was before. And just like when you're creating content, things are constantly shifting, because one thing Meta wants to do is not cut you a check. Like you got to figure it out.
They just like to ban your accounts.
Yeah. And then you got to start over again and again and again. But yeah, no, making it changes if you're in the proper mindset of trying to adapt, because as a creator, you have to be able to adapt on all of these platforms. So you got to think about how that's going to look a couple months from now, years from now, like mini goals, you know? Yeah. And then it'll just grow from there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And a lot of people on the opposite side of cosplay friends I have and myself, it's more for fun. I do it, and people want me to post about it, and I've kind of posted for those that just need that encouragement. But a lot of people, it's for their progression in their cosplay journey, because they look back and will say, like, yeah, look at that Party City outfit that I had on my first cosplay. Now look at me, I'm sewing everything myself.
Yeah,
But-
that ain't happening.
Yeah,
Me and
that's
sewing
in it.
machines don't get along. I'm really good at repurposing things, but making something, oh, wait.
I will commission someone because I don't have time.
That's true.
Yes, because I got too much on my plate. But it's one of those, is like Opie said, is what is important, and Phaedra said, what's important to you? Because it could be that you want to get monetized, or you want to get millions of followers and stuff. And then once you have that goal, you have to figure out what you need to do to accomplish that and make those strides and keep yourself accountable. And sometimes you have to have a fellow friend or cosplay friend that's helping you keep accountable, or you can lean in on to help you as you're making those steps too.
And I'd like to add, though, really quick, that the amount of followers that the person has does not mean they are getting paid like that.
Yes.
That does not
Absolutely.
mean that they're instantly making buku bucks, because this is a new profession still. And there are a lot of campaigns and companies that don't want to pay advertising prices to content creators, but they know they need
Exposure.
content creators because we are on the internet. The internet is going to be here forever. These social media platforms are going to be here forever, but it does not mean, this is the end all be all to have that money or the followers necessarily. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, they want to pay you exposure.
Oh,
I want to speak to kind of the esoteric question that you're asking. And I think there's fleeting moments in time where you're doing the thing and you're like, yeah, I don't suck at this. This is really good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's another fleeting moment where you have imposter syndrome.
Yeah, we did
it's
that
like the
whole panel with
pendulum.
that. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was last night.
The pendulum swings, but I do think there are moments where in my life I've been like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And then tomorrow it might be something else.
Cool. Do I have time to ask like a follow-up really quickly, or should I get back in
how am I
line?
doing?
Once we do like one person
Yes.
answer the
Yeah.
question, because
Yeah, so do us a favor. Let's see if we get through and then you can. How's that?
Sounds
Yes.
good. Thank you guys.
Awesome. So sit close.
Sure.
Well, not do it. Be you.
So a lot of people talk about the importance of consistency with content creation, and one of the things that I've always struggled with is that. I was wondering if you guys had any tips on like how to maintain that momentum or anything.
I was gonna
like
say I'm
that.
gonna take notes because I'm real bad.
Right.
And I'm like,
Someone tell me,
Repurposing.
because
Repurposing.
yeah,
so I said it before, repurposing content.
Mhm.
I have reposted things this year that I actually posted like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
I have new followers. Not everyone's going to see it. And even the old people haven't always seen it
been
either.
doing that a lot lately.
And even still, like, I don't know if you're aware of like animation channels. Like, I work with Horror Shorts Party, and what they'll do is they will have a certain amount of animations that they've done, and they'll just put them all into a giant ass video and be like, oh, compilation of blah, blah, blah. That counts as a new video. It does, because
True.
people will put things on in the background and just, keep working. But yeah, repurposing your content, making sure that you use even outtakes as things. Like, because I know that if you have CapCut, there are templates where it's got the audio for whatever type of video it's going to be, and it's a green screen, and you can use, say, a photo that was bad, or an outtake and everything to add to it. Just post whatever you want, even if it's lazy.
and if you
because
also
the
have a lot
algorithm
of stuff
doesn't
to
care.
post, if you have a lot of stuff that you've made, at least utilize your scheduling.
Yeah.
Like that way, if you're going to be busy or something's coming up, schedule your post. That way you don't forget to post all that stuff you made.
Yeah.
And some channels are more detrimental if you do not post consistently. So TikTok is detrimental if you don't post consistently. So figure out what your consistency is there and try to do that thing. Whereas Instagram is a little bit more forgiving. I would say Facebook is more forgiving. LinkedIn, you can post once a week and that content will last forever. But particularly with TikTok, kind of getting that feel for when you want to post, because at one point in time, it was if you were posting at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays, that's when it looked for you to post. And I'm ADHD, so what I do is I try to batch process. So when I'm having a woohoo day, I will try to create content and then just schedule it like she said, so I can plan it out. That's how the track social happens.
When I do like TikToks, I'll record like 100 at a time. And then I won't do stuff for like 3 months, but I got stuff to post. Because if I have free time and actually put makeup on,
I'm just
like
yeah,
I've worn makeup every day for con. I won't wear makeup again for like 2 months.
Oh yeah.
It is also helpful to like hear that it's a problem that not just I'm going through.
Mhm.
Every single brand and person that does content has that problem.
Yes.
We all need sleep.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
And most of us have other jobs and
Yeah.
children and families and
And then sometimes you just want a break from everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't have any inspiration.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you're like, that
yeah.
was my
Yeah.
homework.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Also, another great jacket. I just want to say.
Yes. Love the hair.
I feel like we slightly touched on this, but who on the panel is actually full-time content creating? And at what point did you tell yourself like you felt okay enough, not necessarily comfortable, because it's very hard to quit a full-time job. At what point did you feel okay quitting a big job? And what did you tell yourself to get to that point, if that's the scenario?
See, mine's kind of backwards. I used to be full time because I was a stay-at-home mom, and so I could be a full-time content creator because I had the time. I actually had to transition to not being a full-time content creator when I got divorced and had to have a job, and that was a very hard choice to make because while you were making good money doing full-time content, it wasn't something that's always consistent, even as a full-time content creator, and having to make that decision to step back to a part-time content creator was a very difficult one. So mine's a little backwards.
I think that's one thing to notice. It's gonna you gotta plan. So when you have a big month, you gotta put that money in the bank.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the lady down at the end,
Mhm.
Once again,
simultaneously, let's look at her.
gosh, okay. Sorry, it's been a hard weekend.
We love you.
Thank you. I'm not gonna be able to record for at least a week. Yeah, so I've said this with my community. I was homeless at one point, and after that, I ended up finally getting a steady job. So when I got that job, it was really hard for me to, not panic when I lost it because I didn't want to deal with that again. But I had already built my community and my following, and it just turned into, okay, well, they want this content, good. And then at one point, I got my first apartment. Then I got my second apartment. My second apartment is a lot more expensive, and I had to make the decision of getting a part-time job. It's a work from home job, and I can do it whenever I want. But still, it's the fact that like it hurt my pride a little bit. But it was one of those things where, because of the type of economy that we're in, I would never tell a single person to just jump into this and think, well, I can do it. I've got X amount saved, whatever it is. Because the thing about like a lot of these platforms is you have to meet a certain quota before you get your payout if they aren't doing it like on a rolling basis. So comfort wise, unless you have, I don't know where you live actually. I'm not even going to say like a number, but a down payment for a house worth, I wouldn't just automatically be like, yeah, okay, I think I can quit my job now. I think what you could do is, if you have your community engaged to see how they are with pre-ordering any type of, merch, as an example, content like that, and see what you could get off of that, do it consistently for a little bit while still having, your day job, and then kind of gauge from there, okay, what does my business usually make? Can I sustain this? Yeah.
So, and I'm going to say that make sure you're making double what you think you need, because you're going to have to pay taxes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay health care. So make sure that you have that covered. And emergencies.
Yeah.
So think about that, because a lot of people don't think about the taxes particularly. So just be aware.
So get an accountant.
Yeah, find an accountant.
We're accountants.
We have an IT accountant.
Hi. First of all, thank you guys. Y'all all each look amazing. Y'all all have one new follower, okay? Now my question is, I know some of you guys make spicy content, right? And you guys have, right. But now, have you guys ever felt unsafe or felt like, you guys were over-sexualized in a place where you did not want to be? And yeah, and I just want to know how you guys dealt with that.
Even though I don't make spicy content, hope I know this. When I decided to go live, as I posted Captain Yodoichi, she's in her captain robe. It's like 4 layers of clothing. And literally within 5 minutes of my Instagram going live, I got 3 videos in my inbox from guys
Oh God.
and showing me what they wanted to do. And I'm just like, is there something about this cosplay that I don't recognize? Yes, and I'm like, there's no cleavage showing. Everything's being covered up. I'm like, well, that just shows there's something for everybody. So yeah, it was weird. And you have to do a lot of filtering out because of stuff like that, because you'll have people that just don't care. They're gonna push the envelope as long as you allow them to.
Okay.
Now,
Gotta
from
curate
an
your community.
online part, like, are you talking about like online or like in person?
Online and in person.
Mm.
And how do you specifically like deal with it? Like, how do you feel, or how do you like maneuver that when it comes, time?
Nerdy, I was thinking of yours and
What?
comic book character.
Oh, my Saint Nella. Yeah. I have a strike with that, but you go first and then I'll.
For me, it's just I kind of default into mom mode where I kind of just look at them like is this appropriate behavior for where we are?
Right.
Like, like, and that usually puts us off to it fairly well.
Okay.
If I'm at the grocery store and someone comes up to me and starts saying this stuff, it's just like,
What the heck?
and you know, and like at a con, like some people are going to say stuff, like they are. It's just more of you give them the look, and it is, or you ignore it. I choose not to ignore it because I know there's a lot of younger cosplayers that take that type of behavior from people because they're afraid to say something,
Right.
because they don't want to be canceled or ignored or whatever. And I don't care. I'm gonna put you in your place because I feel like somebody has to.
Yeah. The cosplay community is a very protective community of themselves. And Tyra was saying, I cosplay a character named Saint Nella, and she's a comic book character, and I'm the first person to cosplay her. And she has a very open chest line. She's only in a bodysuit, and she's like devil-like.
Okay.
And I have a bullwhip. I have the giant thigh-high boots. She's got a very dom look to her. Oh, she's great. We love her.
It's on the post for this.
Yeah,
panel.
she's a good one. But I had a man come up to me and like lay on the floor in front of me, grabbed my foot, and told me to step on him.
Oh my
and the
God.
cosplay community around me yanked him.
Yeah.
Like would like not having any of it. And like that's just from fellow con goers. But then you have predatory like photographers that are prevalent in the community, and the cosplay community will also call them out on their shit.
Yes.
And like will not hold back on that, because like if you're doing a one-on-one shoot with them and it's known that they're predatory, that people will reach out to you and be like, you should maybe not do that. Yeah.
Hence why the photographer was like, you need to join the groups in your local
Exactly,
groups, and
exactly.
have people know who you are as
Vet
a
you.
person. So because there's so many people that use I'm a photographer to be predatory.
Yeah.
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 I would say like for not in person but online safety, get good moderators, get people that like in your community that you built a rapport with, that are going to make sure, you know, certain behavior isn't allowed. Like curate your community properly. I let people know recently, like within the past year and some change, that I'm aromantic and queer, and there are a lot of men folk who like, what does that mean? I'm like, when did it ever?
It's an educational moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my community had shifted, but the ones who were really for me had already known, like, yeah, Opie is just, you know, she likes what she likes whenever she likes it. Like, it's not like, and like most of the time, I'm just vibing. I'm just vibing with titties. Like, I'm just here. It's just curate your community properly.
Vibing with titties.
Yeah.
The spicy one next year.
Thank you guys so much.
That's gonna be the new title for the spicy one next year. Vibing with titties.
Post for that. Okay, this is going to be our last question, but I promise if you come up afterwards, we'll answer your follow-up.
That's an impactful thing to say. But I last. So I'm a newly monetized content creator, but it's not cosplay based. But I was figuring maybe a good place to vent the question. So I have a myriad of different types of content that I put out. So I host and I vend like collectible shows and auto shows here in the Atlanta area. So kind of like Opie, I occasionally have people come up to me and they're just like, "Oh, you're this guy," and I'm like, "I am," but it's not as exciting, I'm sure. But again, as a newly monetized creator, struggling to figure out, some people like when I post, when we like come to events like this, they like this kind of content. Some people like the car content. How did you figure out once you got into your track, what part of the track that you actually wanted to focus on and use that to write your story?
I feel like for me, because like again, like a bunch of different content. I'm also a voice actor. I just incorporated I incorporated one of the niches into the other, and it kind of just flowed. And then at some point I was like, I don't have to put on makeup for this thing. I don't have to get dressed for this thing. I'm going to focus on this thing because it's low effort, high reward. That's kind of how I operate. Yeah, it just made it a lot easier to think about, how much time do I have to invest in this physically, where I'm not taking away from like family time, self-care and health, management for creating said content. What's quick? That also plays a factor, at least for me, it does.
Like I do lots of different. It's like on my Twitch streams, like I joke that I look like a homeless gremlin on my Twitch streams because I'm relaxing. I'm hanging out. I have my hair if I brushed it that day. I'm wearing pajamas. Like that's my very low effort things. I'm going to be playing the games to relax anyway, so might as well just be comfy with it. And that's that part. I don't really talk about the spicy part, but I mean, people aren't stupid. And then, you know, the adult content is very lots of effort. The cosplay content's a lot of effort, and those kind of overlap in a way too, which then makes it a lot of effort. So it's just really kind of like what you want to do and how much effort you want to put into each part of it. But it's like as far as posting different types of things, don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing.
Preach.
Because people are going to get bored. If all you ever post about is cars, you're eventually going to run out of cars.
Well,
You
that's
know.
actually that's the funny part is the people who recognized me here are people that know me from cars. I don't even know who they are.
Right. But you never know who the people are that
No.
recognize you. You're just like, you get really good at, yeah, that's really great. I'm really glad to see you again. How are you doing? You get really good at that. Really good. But no, don't pigeonhole yourself into one. If you enjoy posting this type of content at conventions, do it. Because my bottom line for content creators is do what you enjoy, do what makes you happy, and do what you have fun with, regardless of if people like it or not, because you'll eventually find that group of people that like what you're doing, regardless of what it is.
And for me, like my content creation is in different categories, but I always let people know in my bio, hey, I'm also a voice actor. You can find me here. I'm executive producer and co-host for the Moana Nui podcast. I'm the line producer and assistant producer for the Bob with the Yellow Power Ranger, Karen Ashley. And I let people know that because there's different areas that people are interested in. They may not be wanting to follow all my cosplay content, but they're like, yeah, I love your content on this aspect. They will know how to follow me because of me tagging my other Instagrams that I have for that. So yeah, Opine knows I got like 9 Instagrams going.
Well, and speaking of those 9 Instagrams, we are 1 minute over. I'm going to remind you, if you want to donate to the Dragon Con charity, we've got QR codes down there. If you do the 5K, please tell them the digital media track's your favorite. And ladies, please, as quickly as possible, tell them where they can find you on that thing we call the World Wide Web.
Yes, you can find me anywhere as Danique Cosplay on, like I said, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X. And of course, if you're on Instagram, it will have the tags for my other platforms as far as my shows and things, other things that I'm involved in.
If you go to phaedrablack.com, all the links are there because I try to put them all in one spot. But if you Google me, there's also only one of me, so that makes it easy too.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm the Nerdy Body Cosplay on most things, and if you can't find that, just try Nerdy Body and you'll probably find it.
Nice. I'm the Opie Princess. That's the Opie Princess. I'm not trying to be like, specific, but it is. On everything. Literally. That's it. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that.
She's all over the place. My name is Tyra Burton. You can find me at tyraburton.com and on the digital media track. Thank you all for hanging with us tonight. Thank you, ladies. You're beautiful. And this young man's going to come up and ask his second part question.
Yes.
And if anybody wants a QR code for this game that I'm voicing in as the lead character, come up here.